Good morning, Bonneville County. I'm Idaho State Senator Kevin Cook, and this is you just joined breakfast with Senator Cook. So just maybe give you a quick update of what happened this week. Thursday, I was in Boise and attended the Idaho Authority or Idaho Technology Authority committee that I serve on. And that's the committee that's over all of our technology, over all of our software, our data, backups, and keeping us nice and secure in the state of Idaho for the state of Idaho, their business. So all of the branches. Anyway, interesting meeting. We got some really smart people that are very dedicated to the state of Idaho. They work very hard. They're not your typical government people. You know, sometimes we get this image of government workers, but boy, these people that work in their technology department are good, solid people. Whenever there's a problem, they just show up and go to work and to make sure that everything in the state is nice and secure. We discussed in that committee, we look at standards and what do we do for large projects and small projects, and what do we do across the board of the whole state of Idaho. And so we discussed a lot of things that needed to be done. We also discussed maybe some legislation that needs to happen as we adjust. In the last couple of years, we've consolidated all of the IT. So we used to have kind of an IT in each department, and now we've tried to bring that all back together, have one big IT department, and they take care of everything. And so if one of the departments needs something, they come to the IT department and say, hey, I need a program, or I need some software, or I need a server. And then they would work with them to make that happen. And so there's some growing pains with that, but overall, I think it's working fairly good. Like I said, we've got some great people that are working there, though, and setting some standards and what we need to do as we go through the growing pains. So there'll probably be some legislation that I introduce this session. I'm still working at it. We just talked about it for the first time this Thursday. So, and then Friday, so I stayed overnight there in Boise, and then Friday at 7:30 we started what we call the Idaho Career Ready Students Grant Program. This program is to try and look at rural areas and grow the CTE, our Career Technical Education programs. So like welding, firefighting, lots to do up in northern Idaho with lumber, sawmills and stuff like that, where some of these rural areas never be able to afford a welding booth to teach kids how to weld. And I think, well, why do we want to do that? Well, they become a contributing member of society. They become a taxpayer, all right? And so we're a taxpayer versus taking money from the federal government or from the state because they don't have a job. And so we're trying to help some of these kiddos in the rural areas to get a career, whether that's a doctor's degree. Okay, they can go on and go to universities, but this particular committee that I'm on is looking at CTE. What can we do to help them get a career, get it going right out of high school or while they're still in high school? So this program looks at things we can put in the high school, whether it's cabinetry, firefighting, EMT, all of those things that they could get a certificate while they're in high school and graduate from high school and possibly go right into a job. And that's what a lot of these teachers that we talked with, they're trying to do. They're trying to get them straight out of high school into a money-making job where they can make enough to support a family and do a career with it. And so we talked a lot about that. We had 26 proposals coming from different districts throughout the state of Idaho that we looked at and considered. So anyway, it was 2 really busy days as we went through that, and then I just had meetings with while I was there. I tried to fill up my days and have meetings with everybody else there. But anyway, things are going well. Next week, so let's see, Tuesday we've got my Medicaid Task Force committee that's happening. So that will be where we talk about whether we move to a managed care system or we keep our the current VCO, which is a valued care organization. So we will talk on that, and I think we'll probably end that meeting with some motions or proposals, some decisions that will go forward to the legislators to make some decisions on that. Also, we'll be in Boise for the JFAC, so we start looking at budgets next week. Just kind of a purview, very high level. The departments have already handed in their budgets, and now we'll start looking at. We don't know what the governor's going to do with those budgets. We won't be seeing those until the first of the year. So next week we'll even be busier. So anyway, hope you have a great weekend. If there's anything, any questions, issues, give me a call, text me, email me, whatever's best for you, and we'll see if we can get some answers for you. But I'd love to hear from you. I represent you, and so I'd like to hear what's going on and how we can make things work for you. So have a great weekend. We will talk to you later. Bye.